I've just been helping Chris to move a few pots onto his allotment. He loves cactus, and he's got a really impressive display. A few of them have been touched by a bit of frost, but that's fine. They can sort themselves out. And what he was saying is he finds fascinating is this grape, is the fact that everything came out a bit early when we had that fantastic sunshine and heat, and then it got touched by the frost again. But look, there are plenty of green shoots, so I think he's going to have a really nice harvest. But he's had this grape for quite a while, as you can see. And again, in this corner, loads of cactus. And he's done all this from not from seed, but you know, from just having one or two of them. And again, a few of them have been touched by frost, but they're tough things. They'll sort themselves out. But fascinating. It's one of those things, cactus, that it's nice to look at, but I don't think I would get into it. Look at that there. That is a beautiful specimen. And he's got this one on in the corner here, which I actually thought was a cushion to begin with. But look at this one. You won't want to sit down on that by accident. And I've just noticed this one next door, it actually looks like it's going to flower. So I will come back in the summer and have a look how they are doing then. Look at this for a scarecrow here. So I've just popped up to Paul's plot to pick up some greenhouse glass. Look at this amazing little plot. So yes, I'm gonna have a few panes of glass now for my greenhouse, and then once that's secure, we can then start sowing seeds. Panes are now on my allotment. I'm not going to put them in today because Paul's going to come with his cutter, because a few of the panes have a bit of an awkward shape to them, like this one in the corner here. So that one. So he's going to bring his cutters and do it then. So I've got to find something else to get on with now. I'm going to fill up a pot, and if you remember, I had some spring bulbs that I forgot about, and these ones look wonderful, but unfortunately these ones here, the name of them has gone. I wonder if it's on the back somewhere. So I'm going to plant these in a pot, and we'll just see what happens. No, I can't see the name anywhere. I've done the tulips. I have also done some daffodils, but now I'm doing I've already done some alliums as well, but now I'm going to do some hyacinths, and again, if they come they come, if they haven't then I've wasted £3, and it's a shame. But like I've said before, when I planted those daffodils in February a few years ago, they still came up. So we'll see. Shall we have hyacinths in the summer in the garden? So they've already started shooting, so I'm just going to pop them in, and they're all different colours. 6 I've got. So that's 5 around the side, and then pop in 1 in the middle. There you go, pop a bit of soil on, and these can go outside by the bench along with the other spring bulbs that I'm planting in spring. So rather than going home, I've had a Toby Carvery delivered to the allotment gates. So there's the Yorkshire pudding, the roast potatoes. This is the actual dinner here. Gravy, and then for after, a bit of apple pie and custard. Beautiful. Well, I feel stuffed. I might have to have a little nap. So we've had frost and we've had rain on the land, and now it is perfect for a crumbly texture. Plus it's windy, so it's dried it out. Look at that. Nice crumbly texture, perfect for seed sowing, but I'm going to seed sow in the greenhouse, and these big bits here can just be thrown onto the compost bin. But yes, the sun is out and it feels like summer, although the wind tells us it's winter. So not all the grass disintegrates, there's still a few big lumps, but I'm just going to put them into the wheelbarrow for the time being, and then they will go into the compost bin and they will slowly rot down. In the biodynamic calendar, today is regarded as a flower day. Now when it comes to veg, flowers in the biodynamic calendar are things like broccoli, cauliflower and artichokes, the green globe ones. So that's what I'm going to sow, along with, I haven't sorted out exactly which ones I'm going to do yet, but I'm going to actually sow some seeds of actual flowers like night scented stock and honesty seeds, maybe even some sweet peas. But the most important thing is to get the veg started. So I think I'm going to use this tray, and because I don't want too many, I'm going to do one section for each veg. So I'll do 4 cauliflower, 4 artichokes, and then 4 broccoli, and then I'll sow some more in May, because I also want to sow some of these on rest days so that we can compare. So the compost that I'm using is just bit of multi-purpose and a bit of seed sowing. It's what I've made up from the bags that I've got left over. So I'm not going to go through every packet of seeds. You know how to sow your seed, but I'm just going to do a selection of 4, pop a label in and then transplant them at a later date. So as the sun is heading towards the horizon, I have finished sowing my flowers, and these are Cottage Pink, Nicotiana, Helichrysums, Lupins, Honesty and Corn Cockle. That's the flowers. And over in the vegetable section I have done globe artichokes, cauliflower, bokol, broccoli and purple sprouting broccoli. So I'm pleased. The first of the biodynamic seeds have been sown. Right, let me just measure this now. That is 1'5". 1'5". A bit of maths is needed today because I want to measure my plot and actually work out where the path is going to go. So a slab stone, according to this, is 1'5". That's 45. No, it's 1'5". I'm not going to try and convert it for you. So 1'5", which is up to there. Put a stick in there. So that's the path. Now the path's not going there, obviously, because that's stupid. But now I want to measure this now. I may be doing this all wrong, and you know better, and you probably do. So while I measure this, let's play the theme tune. So the plot measures just under 25. So we'll call it 25 for the sake of not being able to add up. 25, come on, divided by 2 is 12.5. See, just checking to make sure that you were right. So now we go back to the beginning and we measure 12.5. 12.5, which is to there. So, if my calculations are correct, which they usually aren't, 12.5 is there. I'll pop that in there. And now, how much was the slab stone? Can you remember? What about you in the back there? It was 1.5, correct. So now, if I put 1.5 there, that should be the size of the slab stone. So if I am correct, these two sides should have equal distance. Shall we see, just for a laugh? Right, I'm not going to move the camera, so you just have to imagine it. So this 12.6, so I'll say 12.5, make it easier. And now we'll put that over here. And this now, what do you think this is then? Besides not going there. Right. See, I don't want to lift that out now. So I'll put that there. So what was it again? I forgot. 12.5, I hear you say. Well, 12.6 wasn't it exact? Getting caught up here. So, take the kinks out. Need every inch you can get. 12.5, look at that. What an expert when it comes to maths. 12.5. So 12.5 on each side, with a path going down here. Oh, split the act up. With a path going straight down. There you go. I haven't got any slab stones to put down. I just wanted to put those 2 sticks there. It's a leaf day today. I knew you'd be asking. I can see some plot holders just beyond the camera thinking, he's off his head, that bloke. He's talking to himself. But who wants to be normal? That's what I say. Right, what was that now? 12.5 each side. I'm going to have to write that down before I forget. Right, let's shut that down now. 12.5 and a path down the middle, sorted. So I've just looked on the interwebs, and apparently for slab stones it's £100, because you've got to buy them in bulk. You can't just buy a few. So I'm going to have to start saving them wherever I see them, because I don't want a lot, I just want a few just to go. In fact, I'll show you where the path is. Going up the path, surveying the land, looking at the crops. Ho, ho, ho. So a few little highlights I'm going to show you, which I didn't film because I didn't have the camera. But I planted some saxifrage. This is a nice ground cover plant, and when it gets a bit too much and you want to pull it up, you can just rip it off the ground. Give the bit you ripped to a friend. They can just literally throw it on the ground and it'll start to grow again. Next door to that, I've put the ceanothus, which I've had for a while. And I must have bought it from a garden centre, because I can't remember where I bought it from. I don't think it was from the internet. But there's the ceanothus there, next door to the saxifrage. And it can fill up all this space as time goes by. So we're outside the shed. This is going to be a flower bed, and in this corner is, just about to see it, the shoots of a perennial sunflower which one of my neighbours gave me. It grows to about 6 foot tall in her garden, so it will make a nice display in front of the shed. Just behind my shed there is a lilac, purple lilac, and the scent is gorgeous. For a few hours this afternoon, it is classed as a leaf day in the biodynamic calendar. So that means we can sow and tend to things like cabbages, Brussels sprouts, Swiss chard, spinach beet, Chinese cabbage, pak choi, Chinese broccoli, kohlrabi, mustard greens, spinach, kale, celery, Florence fennel, rocket, lettuce, corn salad, endive, chicory, red auroch, radicchio, asparagus, rhubarb, and sea kale. So I'm going to have a look in my seed packet to see if there is anything I can sow from that list. If you use any of these seed trays, before you start, just look underneath. Make sure there's no slugs or snails, because they love to get into all the nooks and crannies there. So I'm going to use this one for sowing seeds today, and rather, like in the past I would have used something like that, filled it full of compost, thrown the seeds in, and then ended up with 50 cabbages, 50 tomato plants, and a lot of them will just go to waste. So what I like to do now is I like to take one of these and either sow them in this direction, so I end up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or if I want more of a few things, I'll do them this way: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10. So I'm just going to pat them down like so, make sure that soil is in all those nooks and crannies. There we go. And now I've just got to decide what I'm going to sow. So Brussels sprouts. This is a new variety on me this year. And so which way am I? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4. What are you sowing at this time of year? So I'm just going to get on and sow these. I'll speak to you in a moment. There we go. Bloody warrior. Now I'm going to get some compost and just cover them all. Do it with your hand. I do like to do things with my hands as much as I can because it makes me feel that there's more of a connection with what you're doing rather than using a sieve. So there we go. I think that's all nicely evenly distributed. Then I'm just going to use the pot just to firm everything in. And then what I'm going to do is I will place this into a bath of water so that the water can come up from the bottom, because if I water from the top now, there's a likelihood I could disturb the seeds. So I'm just going to gently put it into this bath, leave it there for about half an hour until it's all had a nice soak, and then I'll pull it out and just put it on the bench. I must say it certainly feels nice to put seeds in. The season is certainly starting, and in a few days I may even put my runner beans in. So half an hour later and they've had a good soak, so I'll take them out and just rest them on the bench like everything else. Maybe in a few days I will pot on the lettuce, but I'm pleased with progress so far. Well, thanks for joining me on the allotment today. Maybe in a few days' time I will sow my runner beans. I'm not too sure yet. Let's just see how the weather plays out. Well, thanks for joining me, and I hope you will see me next time I am back on the garden, in the allotment, or just life in general. I'll see you on Life's Highway. So until next time from me, bye for now.